Last week, WGEM's meteorologist Kyle Eck traveled to the National Weather Service in St. Louis to get a glimpse into the daily operations of their meteorologists. Here's what he learned.
You see our forecasts every day on TV. Get our latest weather updates on the website, app, social media, and even over the radio. However, have you ever wondered how the National Weather Service meteorologists operate? Much like us, they look at computer model data and make their forecasts that you may see from time to time online. National Weather Service meteorologist John Carney goes into detail on how forecasting verbiage may change throughout the year.
You can tell it whether you want to have stratiform precip or you want to have showery precip. It's either March or April. It just assumes showers.
Okay.
And then in October, maybe the 1st of November, it assumes stratiform.
While they make forecasts for regions called county warning areas, National Weather Service meteorologist Chris Kimball says they also coordinate with government agencies to help release forecasts.
Primary partners are other government agencies like emergency management agencies, some public safety agencies. These are the ones we work with a lot, although the main way that most people see us is through our watches and warnings that we issue.
You may notice during severe season, your area may go under a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning. That's the work of the National Weather Service. They look at storms that form and how they develop, get a scope of the atmospherics at play, and determine if and where a warning will be issued and for how long it will last. While there are 2 to 3 meteorologists on duty forecasting and connecting with their partners, Kimball says their amount of personnel drastically increases during severe weather.
During severe weather, it'll range from 4 to 14 people, depending on how much is expected to occur.
To gain a deeper understanding at just how in-depth this process is, I took part in a workshop where I issued and updated simulated tornado warnings on a real storm that happened in May of 2022. There are 122 National Weather Service forecast offices across the country, so storms will regularly move in and out of jurisdictions. Kimball describes how close in communication neighboring offices need to be with one another.
We will talk to either collaborate via chat or phone call with the incoming forecast office, the one where it's headed to.
They will communicate what they've seen within the storm, what they're expecting, and then draw a new warning to align with the existing one. All of this is done as storms progress in the effort to protect the public and property. I'm meteorologist Kyle Eck, WGEM News.